goes now. And 5, 4.
And the people in our neighborhood, they would if they only could. Meet and shake the other's hand. Work together for the good of the land.
All right. Excellent choice there, Rocio. I love that music. You're going to tell us the name of it and the artist in a minute. Just so that you know, today is yet another of the Art and Soul flea markets up on Howard and Ashland from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. today. It's one of, they do it every month this summer, and for those of you who, like me, get a little stuck on Lunt or Glenwood or Morse, travel all the way up to Howard Street and see the Art and Soul Flea Market. Pick some stuff up. I was really moved to hear from Graham just now, and the reasons for going to war often have to do with that thing called oil. And right now, again, in the Gulf, there is a burning, falling apart oil platform. Maybe we could run into peak oil one of these days and stop doing this. I'm freaked out by it. But find out and start getting active out there, people. Come on. We need clean water. Ellen Cosgrove, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Live from the Heartland.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I'm knowing that Michael would love to be here asking you questions, but as we know, Michael is recuperating. Hello, Michael. How you doing over there?
Having a great time.
All right. He's got his head down and he's healing himself from his eye surgery. He'll be back, I'm sure, next week. But he is the reason that you're here, because you and Michael ran into each other down at Basketball in the Barrio.
Yes.
And how did you wind up with those guys, first of all?
So I worked for an organization called Peace Players International for 2.5 years. I lived and worked in Northern Ireland and
in Belfast.
In Belfast, yes. Ooh. Lovely Belfast, lovely sunny Belfast. And through Peace Players, I was invited down to come down to Basketball in the Barrio and work with them, and I had a blast. It was really great, really, really fun.
That's a long commute.
Well, I actually came from D.C. I live in D.C. right now.
You live in D.C.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not so bad.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We got to make sure you meet Laura over there, who also lives in D.C. Oh. I'm curious because I have Irish relatives, mm-hmm. lots of them, and I've been to Ireland about 5 times, and I have never been to the north yet.
You need to make a trip.
I know.
A lot of people say that. Okay. Not yet.
Out of here.
Maybe after.
After we get out.
Yes. So Peace Players International is in Northern Ireland. It's in Cyprus. It's in South Africa and Israel. And so I got involved actually because my cousin started working for them in Israel. And he kept saying, you got to do this. You got to do this. So finally, the joke is I actually applied for the South Africa program. Uh-huh. And they sent me to Northern Ireland.
Sort of like the Peace Corps does.
Yeah, exactly. So the weather was a little bit different, but it was really an amazing experience. Really, Peace Players is all about using basketball as a way to bring kids together in these divided societies.
Only basketball?
I think now they're actually helping out other programs that use different sports, and I think in Northern Ireland a lot of what they do is working with the other sports, because in Northern Ireland sports are actually kind of assigned to a side. You know, in the north, if you play rugby, you're probably going to be Protestant. If you play Gaelic sports, you're probably going to be Catholic. And football or soccer itself is pretty divisive. Like, you can't wear a soccer jersey to a bar because of all the fights it starts. So actually basketball is one of the more neutral sports in the north.
Chicago used to be like that, right? With the Cubs and the Sox.
Yeah.
I could not wear a Sox
think
shirt
about
on
Yankees,
the north side.
Red Sox, right? You know, too.
Now it's all a little mixed up. Now it's a little more integrated.
That's good.
Thank God.
That's good. We should have them play basketball together, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So what did you take from your time in Belfast? Personally, if you sum it up for yourself, what did that give Ellen Cosgrove as a young, brilliant woman?
Well, I think it shows the power of simple activities. You know, I mean, I think peace is such a complicated term, and how do you even start to get there? I think I've thought a lot about that. But you can do very simple things. Simple things can be very powerful, and children want to play. and they need to play, they want to play. And so if you can kind of set a structure where they can play together and kind of learn to be friends with that, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than that, I think.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. So then, what since then? Since you've done the Peace Players, couple years you did up there?
So I was there. Yeah, I was there for 2.5 years, and it was a very amazing experience. I learned a lot. I got to do, I got to work with different populations. Like, on a given day, I got to work with kids, to talk to donors, to work with some government officials. So it was really a diverse experience. I got to do a lot.
A broad education.
I also got to drive on the left hand of the road.
We love that. We love expanding our world.
Stick shift. Too. There you go. Skills.
Yes,
yeah.
Skills.
But then I came back and I went to Brandeis University and I studied coexistence and conflict. So really, I was really inspired by the work I did there and really the people that I saw who were doing such amazing work in their community year on year. And so I wanted to learn more about conflict and peace building. And so I went to Brandeis because actually at the time the program director was originally from Belfast and from Northern Ireland. So there was a natural kind of connection there.
Very good.
So I went and did that it was a 1.5-year program. And for my field project, I actually went to northern Uganda and looked at programs that were using sports there with youth. So I
bet you ran into my niece. She was doing sports organizing in Uganda.
Wow,
yeah.
Maybe I did.
Yeah. She was from Dayton, through Dayton in Ohio.
Yeah, so I got to work with some ex-child soldiers and work with a lot of kids that, are still affected by kind of the legacy of war there. And just kind of see how different organizations were using sports. So some people would use it just as an engagement. Like they'd have a soccer tournament and then tests for HIV there. And just it's a way of getting people together, right? 400 people would come and get tested. Also just people were working with children and doing almost like a play therapy. Just kind of saying that children need to do that. They need to play. They need to have a safe space to play. Even I saw some programs that worked with ex-child soldiers and were using it as a rehabilitation and reintegration model. I worked with an organization that was actually trained some ex-child soldiers to be coaches in their local community, so that way people could see them differently and see them in a more positive light. So I got to meet some wonderful people, and it was really great. Really great.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you?
Yes.
How old are you?
I turned 31 yesterday, actually.
Woo! Happy birthday to you.
I came to Chicago to visit my sister for my birthday.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, you have that Irish name, right?
Ellen, yes, I do.
And also Cosgrove.
Yeah. And my middle name's Vaughn, so yeah.
Triple threat.
Yeah.
But home is DC, and did you grow up in DC or did you grow up here?
I'm from Albany, New York.
Albany, okay.
Yeah, so New York is home. I've been in DC for about 10 months now. I went, after grad school to look for work. So I've gotten to do some cool things out there too. I worked for an organization called Search for Common Ground for a little while in the Children and Youth Department. And I've gotten to do some independent contracting, as they say in DC. Sounds very official.
I like that.
Yeah, for an organization called Bold Leaders that brings youth from other countries over to do some leadership development programs.
Well, you're positioning yourself to be an excellent midwife for change on the world.
I hope so. I just see it as tapping the potential of the youth and children. That's really is. They just need to be leveraged and be given the confidence to just be themselves and listened to. Really, that's it, right? We need to listen to these guys.
Yeah.
The most honest people I met in Belfast were the children. The questions they asked you couldn't get any more honest than that.
Direct.
Mm-hmm. Very direct.
So what is your plan for the near or far future? If you want to dream out loud on the radio, now's the time to do that.
At some point, I'd like a job that gives me dental insurance. That'd be great. But I hear that's hard to come by these days.
I want everyone to breathe. We all need dental insurance. don't we?
Yeah, I've said that before, and then people are like, that doesn't happen anymore. So we'll see.
No,
But
it actually doesn't happen anymore. But at least if you're lucky, you can find a dentist who lets you pay a little bit each month, like mine does.
But in all seriousness, I really would like to continue this work further. I mean, whether it's with sports, or not. But I think I'll always have that component in my life. I mean, even if my job isn't directly related to kids in sports, I think I'll always do that on the side, or coach a team, because I think no matter where I am in the world, I just know that the children and youth there are going to put a smile on my face.
You are right. Having done what you've done, you will. I kind of doubt if it'll be on the side either, Ellen.
That's
Unless,
good.
of course, you become a parent, which will then become your focus.
Someday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's great. And do you then, when you are here in the States, do you talk to stateside 20-somethings about going forth and getting engaged the way you did? Do you ever get that opportunity?
To actually talk to American youth?
To talk to, folks who are right at the moment where they can be of great service, the 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds.
I do think, especially athletes, they have a real opportunity to give back, and it's not just about, giving these younger children and youth skills around basketball. It's really about life skills. It's about using it as a kind of a vehicle to teach those important messages. So I do think, young people have a real opportunity to give back. And sports is one way to do it. You can do it other ways too. There's so many. It's not the only tool. It's not the only way.
But it's a good one. And back in the day, Michael, if he were up here, he'd talk about the organizing that he and others, myself among them, did with a group called Sports for the People, where we basically we had a great volleyball league, for example, that was co-ed, and it made rules. This may sound strange now, but it was needed back then as a female jock pre-9/11, pre-Title IX. Men always hogged the ball.
They do. They still do that, yes.
And so Sports for the People meant if you could not have 3 hits on one side of the net and all one gender.
Really?
I loved that.
Yeah.
It made a huge difference, and it developed great camaraderie and the kind of skills you actually need to play volleyball, which is share it. Yeah. Wow. Well, you shine on, Ellen Cosgrove.
Thank you very much.
And is there anything else I haven't asked you that you want to share with us about what you've learned in the world?
No, I think that's about it.
And you have family in Chicago, so you do come back?
I am. Yeah, I come back a lot. I love Chicago. It's a really great city.
That makes a million of us. We love Chicago. Well, let's hear it for Ellen Cosgrove and the Peace Players International that she joined, and the life in front of you, which is going to build peace.
I hope so, yes.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Katie.
You bet. Hey, as we go out, I want to tell you that was, as I thought, Curtis Mayfield playing We Got to Have Peace. Yeah, I love it. So we're going to get another song from our engineer and bring up our next guests.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself,